Welcome back to Copperhead Customs. What should we work on today? Our 1928 Oakland?
No.
Our beautiful budget build 1938 Chevrolet?
No.
Well, it must be our 1939 Plymouth 4-door to 2-door coupe conversion.
No.
Our 51 Bedford then?
Yes.
We're working on the Bedford. Working on the Bedford. On the 51 Bedford! Yep, the 51 Bedford. So welcome back to part 2 of our finishing touches on our budget built Bedford. Before we start, we'll quickly recap part 1. In part 1, we trimmed the guards on the front and on the back. We made this battery box out of scrap. It turned out awesome. We tried to do lace work on the roof, but it didn't work. So we're going to try and do it again, but this time better. We painted these awesome logos on the doors and they turned out great. We serviced the transmission twice and made a new custom exhaust. It's straight piped. Then we ran out of time. So now, in part 2, we need to do the most painful job of them all. Wiring. That's right, we've got to finish wiring it. Make a fan shroud and thermo fan installation. Put on a new exhaust and inlet manifold. Gasket. Fine tune the carby. Fix this flat tyre. Redo the lace work on the roof. Hopefully we don't stuff it up this time. And make some metal covers. Ooh. To hide all our wiring, etc. in here. Install the gauges properly. And then finally, fingers crossed, go for a dry. Hopefully not making vroom vroom noises. So if any of that, or all of that, interest you, then stick around and enjoy the show. Okay, so our first task is going to be the worst task on the whole build, I would say personally, and that is the wiring. I hate wiring more than a stepdad hates his red-headed stepson. But it's got to be done. So we will not bore you with any of it, and we'll just come back when I've finished with this mess. I really hate wiring. But hey, we're making progress. We've got headlights. We've got a thermo fan on the trans that doesn't turn off, and we've got indicators, but they don't flash. Same over here. But hey, it's a start. And we'll do some more tomorrow. I don't know if I've told you, but I hate this wiring, but it's got to be done. So anyway, we've put a terminal block here that we're running a heap of connections to. So far, we have headlights wired, front indicators, both sides wired, and they are back into the terminal block, and they're working off of the switches. The headlights and the high and low beam are working off the dipper, everything. Indicators are working off of the steering, and hazard lights are working off the steering, but they are not flashing for some reason. I've replaced the flasher, they're still not flashing, so there's something wrong in the wiring, but I haven't worked it out as yet. This switch will be our thermo fan, so now we turn the key on. Hopefully you're seeing the key, hopefully you're looking at all of it. And we have nothing coming on now, but we've seen our gauge went forward and back. So we'll turn our headlights on and the gauge lights up. This one we haven't plugged in yet, but that's nothing. So our headlights are working and our gauges are working. Our fan. Okay, so that is our thermo fan for our transmission, which is underneath. We've also wired the brake light switch, and that runs back to the terminal block. So inside here, we've still got to wire the 12-volt phone charger plug, and we've also got to put another switch in for the radiator thermo fan. At the back of the car, we have wired this side up, and we've run the wire to the other side. We've still got to wire that up. So what we're at the point now is testing. We're about to take the battery pack to the front and hook up the wires to the feed coming to here to see exactly how we've done it, just to make sure. And then we can do the same over there, connect them. Then we should have tail lights, brake lights, our 2 indicators. We still eventually are going to have to put another plate light on, and then we've also got to wire up our other brake light in our skull. Okay, my other issue is I don't think I've got the headlights wired through the relay that's in this wiring loom. From what I can work out, these are our wires out of the relay. So I think I need to take one of these as my feed over to the headlights. But that's an easy thing that can be done later. It's just taking the yellow wire out and putting this one. But in saying that, that yellow wire that we have going to that switch is the one that runs the fuse. So I don't quite know what is going on, because electrical I hate. I cannot get my head around it. So anyways, we still have wires to run to the thermofan and the switch for that, 12 volt DC plug, and I think that's nearly us. Then what we've got to do is just go through, wrap everything up in tape, put the plastic sheathing on and try to neaten everything. And at the end of the day, we still have a spare circuit here, another spare circuit here. We've got these two here, and I've got another one over there for the window wipers, which I haven't done yet. So anyways, one of these will get used for our front thermofan. So we've still got a couple spares is what I'm getting at. But regardless, I still hate wiring. We've got some more done. We've got tail lights and brake lights. And check these out. How cool do these look? We're getting closer. We got indicators, but they still don't flash.
The next day.
Okay, we're having a break from the wiring. What we've got here is we're going to turn this into our fan radiator shroud thing. So we're basically looking, we're 600 this way, which pretty much works for our vertical. We may have to do a little notch down here around the pipe. And we want 640 basically. It's a little bit shaped like that, but 640 will get away with it, and we'll leave a 30mm fold either side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have this with a fold either end. It gets screwed in. We'll leave the top, just butt it up to the top tank. The bottom will be slightly opened. If we've got any excess, we may, I don't think we have, so, and we'll just have a 30mm fold either side that we'll screw into. And in here we'll cut a circle and mount our fan. I think we'll keep the road sign part facing out. I think that should look pretty good. So we've got 640, so I think we'll cut it at around 700. Will give us 30mm fold up each end. I think that should be sufficient. So this is what we ended up doing. We've got a little fold on the bottom, folding it into the bottom of the radiator. It's screwed on the sides here. There's a little fold here, and then it's sort of all trimmed in, flat panel, fan bolted on. I think that should do the job. It does have a little bit of flex down the bottom. Worst case, later on, we might have to put a little bracket down the bottom there, just tying it in to stop any movement, but I think it should be okay. So I tell you what, that was a very painful job. So now we'll just reconnect our hose, rebolt our brackets here, then we'll run some more wires. More wires? Did I tell you I hate wiring? So I think we're going to run it without these braces if we can. They were a pain to get into the motor and stuff, and I don't actually think they were doing much. So we will try them without them.
Oh, I see nothing! The following day.
Finished the wiring, and guess what? I still hate it. But anyway, there's just a couple of little things on the wiring left. Nothing much. The windscreen wipers need to be done, and I think the reverse lights, that's about it. We've just done our little cover. I think we may put a little cut around the air cleaner later on. But basically that is that. I think that looks pretty good. It hides all that wiring. There's a couple in there I've still got to wrap tape around. But yeah, it hides all that wiring, and I think it looks quite neat. And it matches our thermofan cover. So anyway, that's what we've done. Remember, we have our bonnet that goes over, so you won't hardly even see this anyway. But it just neatens up that area, I think. So basically we just cut a sign, we put a little fold in it, cut it to suit, and put some tech screws in it. And like I said, we've got quite a bit of tension in there. We may actually just cut a little tiny curve around that helmet. I think it worked this time. You're probably not going to be able to see it till tomorrow. But I think it looks, at first impressions, it looks insane. That was about as good a pattern as we could have got, I think. So basically it kind of looks like a black roof with these little red flowers on it now. It looks pretty damn cool. Oh yeah. I don't even think we're going to sand this. I think we're just going to leave it just like that. Now that looks cool. Ended up, our stuff up has enhanced the black, because if you can see the grey bits through the bottom, it has made it look so good. Wait till we see that tomorrow. See, we've got the inlet manifold off, extractors off, everything unbolted. We had to actually undo the hoses and accelerator, etc. to get that off. We've just cleaned the face, and we will get the new gasket and put it on. Put it all back together, and it's another job done. You can see we cut the curve here for our air cleaner helmet. Sits in there nicely, so no more touching. And you're going to have to wait to see the roof. But it looks damn good. So, all done, all bolted back up together. The back bolt, that fought me, but we got it. So everything's bolted back on, all the hoses connected, lines, everything. We just fired it up, definitely sealed that leak, and it seems to be running pretty nice. We just turned the idle up a little bit, but it just seems to be purring a bit like a kitten. Does have a little bit of a bobble in it, but it sounds so much nicer. And we've put all our sign back on, helmets on, air cleaners on, everything's on. Filled the water, started it up to check the transmission fluid, so we've topped that off. So we are nearly there, and you still haven't seen the top. So all of that's buttoned up and ready to go. So we're getting close. We've still got to make something secret, little surprise, which will be coming in a minute. Before we do that, let's give this, and I think we'll give the tray a coat of our special patina juice. Well, that's what we just made. A little hand, stop sign. Boom. Hey, cool or what? So that was a factory thing. This is a factory bracket, original bracket. Just made a little hand, painted it red, a little bit of aluminium pole, boom, see, hand, boom. So we throw that on there. Hopefully that weathers up pretty quickly. So I think we have 99% done it. Still have one little problem, and that's that it's breaking down when I open it up. So I'm not sure if it's spark or if it's the float level. But hey, that's an easy fix, and hopefully I can tweak it tomorrow. But I'd call this success. We got the manifold gasket fixed. We got the cover done. All the wiring. We made this stupid stop hand. We did the wicked lacework on the roof that I still haven't shown you. And we put a coat of patina juice on. But anyway, it's looking so good. There's not much left to do than to take it for a drive. So that's what we'll do in the morning. Alright, I think you will have to agree that it is looking absolutely magnificent. I'll give you a quick look up here at the lace on the roof. It has turned out a treat. Now, I don't know if you can see how it's got the grey remnants behind, which is kind of making it look a little bit shaded. Absolutely magnificent it looks. So we'll get that out in the sun tomorrow so you can really see. Absolutely beautiful. Very well done. We made our little hand. We got the cover done. The bonnet's back on. So the cover was on, notched out. The motor is all good with the gasket. We've stopped that. The exhaust actually sounds quite nice. Now we are running a bit off. I think I'll do some research tonight. Hopefully I can get it sorted before we end this video. But it's it could be float level, or maybe our points are breaking down. So I'll do some research. So what it's doing is it's pretty good on idle and on low revs, but when I open it up a bit, it starts to really break down. So I'll do some research on what I think it could be. It could just be the points. The only other thing I could think of is it's the actual float level. I didn't adjust the float level or the air fuel ratios out, but I don't think so. I think it's either float level, so it's getting too much for flooding itself. I'm thinking maybe. Well, that's a wrap. We're still not running perfectly. The transmission's working well, but the radiator is still overheating. And the motor is still breaking down, but nothing major. So we need a new radiator and a decent tune.
But this lace work turned out wicked.
All our gauges are working. We got this badass brake light. We got headlight. We fixed the transmission and the wicked sounding exhaust. It's straight piped. We made this badass battery box. We cut the guard on the back and on the front, and now it doesn't scrape. We did these logos. How good do they look? And we made this stupid hand. We did the exhaust manifold gasket. And we made this cover. Thermo fan. And the lace work. But did I tell you I hate wiring? So the car is 99% finished. So now it must be time to start to enjoy it and get back on to the 38 Chef. How good is the interior? Look. So we will call that a success. So thanks for watching. And we'll see you next week.